Hey guys, welcome to this video series. I want to tell you a little bit about what I've got going on. I decided to do Klutch Kickers this season, and in doing so it worked out to hit two other events at the same time. So what I decided to do was pack up the family and take a month off of work and move to Alabama with my friend Colton. So we brought the camper trailer along and brought my minivan, my current drift car, and I also brought another project which I'll show you in a second, basically just to work on for Drift Week. We finally arrived in Alabama. This is our first day here. I've got a lot of work to do. Klutch Kickers is tomorrow, and then over the weekend. So I've got to get the car prepped and ready. We did a ride-along demo at Circuit of the Americas in Texas with Lone Star Drift. I'll insert some clips of that here. And of course, along the way we had a road trip and various things that happened along the way, the road trip, so I'll insert that here. So today, basically, I've got to get my drift cart ready. It suffered some abuse at the Circuit of the Americas. We basically drove 2 days straight, giving ride-alongs non-stop. So there was a lot of wear and tear and abuse on the car. So I'm going to spend some time getting it ready. One of the things was when I finally put some grippy tires on it, because I've never really run grippy tires on this thing. When I finally put some grip behind it, I could feel the clutch starting to work a little bit harder. I wouldn't say it was full-on slipping, but it was not engaging as solid as it had before. So I'm a little bit worried about that. There's not much I can do about it now. I did bring a spare clutch, but I'm not going to change it today. And then this has a viscous limited slip, which worked well on Drift Week. But I can't really tell, but it felt like the diff wasn't 100% with the grippy tires. I feel like the grip difference is enough that the diff isn't locking. It fights the resistance inside the diff by having grip on both wheels. So what I did is I went to Ramsey Race Prep and welded up my diff the other day. I got to visit Dwayne, and so I'm gonna put that diff in this car today. Make sure that the axles are solid. I brought extra axles. And then I'm going to patch up the body a little bit, the rear bumpers in 2 pieces. I don't think I'm going to have time to do the side skirts. But basically just give the car once over, wash it, get it prepped, looking good. I've still got a bunch of junk in the interior from Drift Week. So I need to clean it out. I've got the helmets from the ride-alongs and stuff. I need to get that going, get that all ready. So aside from the drift car, let me give you a tour of the fleet. We brought my Toyota Sienna minivan. Basically it was sitting at home doing nothing. It's just been sitting with nothing. I was planning on selling it maybe or something. I didn't pay much for it, so I decided to bring that along, so we have that as our runaround vehicle if we want to go on any day trips. We're in southern Alabama right now, so we're close to Florida, we're close to North Carolina, we're close to Tennessee, close in Western terms. Everything's far away in the West, so we could go on a day trip here with the family. It's also a good opportunity for me to spend time with my family. When I'm at home, I'm either working or sleeping, and so I don't have a whole lot of time to spend with my family. So I figured if I forced myself to take a month off of work, I would have time to spend with the kids, and it would be something that they would remember and whatnot. So aside from that, the Dodge, there we go. The Dodge did a great job. It didn't skip a beat. Other than the trailer brakes being sketchy on this trailer, we had to stop and fix the trailer brake controller, and then it ended up, I think the actual brakes on the trailer are bad. The engine, transmission, chassis, everything on the Dodge is fine. We did blow an airbag, so we were able to stop and fix that in Texas. That truck did great. Actually, that's what I built it for. It's a 12 valve with a Ford ZF6 transmission swap, and it's like no problems. It just goes. And I don't know how much weight is on that thing. It's got to be over 26,000, and it just goes along, plenty of power and whatnot. Aside from that, we've got this beautiful camper trailer, which will be our home for the month. I had to do a little bit of work on it. I got it because a tree fell on it, so I was able to patch it up. Got it for a super good deal. Able to patch up the roof, and it's a great place to stay. It tows great, doesn't weigh very much. Other than that, we've got this Ford truck here. So the Ford did give me some problems. That's another one of those trucks that I didn't spend much money on it to get it going. And so I decided to bring that along as well, because both the van and the truck I don't plan on bringing home with me. I'm either going to sell them out here or just leave them for someone else to use, or for myself to use when I come back, whatever. But the Ford, I just wanted it to make it across the country. And of course it was pulling a pretty lightweight trailer. But for the first thing on that Ford is the water pump. Before I left, I noticed the fan was a little bit wobbly, and I thought it might be all right. So I had some spare parts. I grabbed extra injectors. The truck's got a misfire also. So I grabbed extra injectors, some injector cups, the injector cup tool that I have, and I just happened to grab an extra water pump. I almost didn't grab it, but I did grab it. And then we didn't make it very far out of town before we started having overheating issues. Long story short, ended up being the water pump. I took out the thermostat, put the used water pump in it, and it solved all of our problems. I went from thinking the engine was blown up and that we would have to sell the truck and not make it all the way, to having the truck make it all the way without ever having to add coolant again the entire trip. So that's pretty impressive. That truck did a good job. It started making a squeaking noise after we changed the water pump, and I thought it was just the belt. Well, it ended up the vacuum pump, because that's not a hydro boost, it's got vacuum for the brakes. The vacuum pump ended up seizing up. The bearing inside the pump just locked up, and it threw the belt. Broke down on the side of the freeway. Amber was driving. It's her first time towing. She was super stressed out. We ended up hooking up this truck with a chain on the trailer to the front of the Ford with the trailer, and we were towing that down the side of the freeway in Louisiana just to get off the freeway so I could fix it. Ended up finding the part at the local parts store. It actually worked out really well. It was only 5 miles away. Got that back on the road and then finished our drive. We're finally here in Alabama. It was a wonderful trip. Even with those series of events, everything worked out really well. Super fortunate to have everything we needed, all the tools, all the parts, the knowledge to be self-sufficient on the trip. It was great. So let's talk about the Cresta. I brought this Cresta on the trip because I'm going to get it ready for Drift Week. Its current state is not pretty. It's not bad, but it definitely could use some help. It's got fender flares, it's got wing, it's got the body kit, it's got all the stuff that it needs. So I'm going to do some fiberglass work on it, get everything looking good, then paint it. I won't tell you what color yet, and get it ready for Drift Week. Basically because when I go home, it's going to be the 1st of April. And Drift Week starts on like the 14th of April. So not only will I get home and have tons of work to catch up on, but I'm also going to have this car to build, and I figured there's no way I'm going to get that done in 10 or 12 days. So I brought it along on the trip because I'm going to have some spare time here around Colton's property, and he's got a shop and everything and the expertise, and he's a body guy. So I'm going to help him, he's going to help me, and we're going to get this thing going. We're going to knock out some of the projects that are here around the shop, and it's just going to be a good time. I'm really excited to be here. It's going to be a great time to be away from work, but also still working, and I really hope to win that Klutch Kickers money. That's my whole goal. If I can put $10,000 in the bank this month, I will be stoked. So I'm going to keep updating this series, but this is kind of my intro video. So thanks for watching.